Hi, this is Tim of the 1916 Company. Welcome and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me. tmosso@thewatchbox.com is still my email address. It's still in the description below. It is your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any of our platforms. Please reach out to me directly. I am tmosso@thewatchbox.com for pricing. Today we're discussing a watch launched back in 2014. This is the spectacular Richard Mille RM63-01, and it is the Dizzy Hands, a watch that has either conventional or wildly unconventional displays of time on demand. It is comprised of 5N red gold and grade 5 titanium. You can see both of them on exhibition and profile. It's a 42.7 millimeter round watch, so an unusual case shape for Richard Mille. 11.9 millimeters thick, so it's fairly slim, and then 49.7 millimeters from lug tip to lug tip, with a little bit of curvature or camber to the underside of the case, and you can see how the curvature of the case blends seamlessly into the tapered and custom cut conforming strap. We'll throw this on my wrist, which is 16 centimeters in circumference. You get a good sense of it. It's a big watch, no doubt. I believe because of the way it's shaped and the way it sits, you could wear it on a wrist as small as 15 centimeters circumference, but it is fairly broad from lug to lug. Here you can really get a good look at the lugs. They are inboard of the edge of my wrist, so you could wear this watch on a wrist slightly smaller than mine. It's a thin piece too, and under 12 millimeters thick. It will slide underneath the cuff. Now there's a little bit of an overhang to the bezel, but you should be okay with most sleeves. The watch includes a strap that is fully integrated. You can see how the swell matches the swell of the lugs, but also the thickness matches the thickness of the lug profiles. There's also a little bit of evacuation that visually continues the inset case band into the strap. Taking a look at the buckle, a combination of red gold and a titanium leaf spring. This is the well-known GNF Chatelain leaf spring deployant clasp, double deployant. You can see it will snap shut past a certain inflection point and then snap open likewise. It does a good job of keeping a sporting style watch secure without a trigger closure system. Now you can see that we have that same sort of inset design on the flanks of the buckle, and that the outer buckle is satinated, and then the recesses are media blasted, so there's some excellent detail right here. You'll also have the company's signature spline screws. Now, there's going to be a lot more of them when we get to the case. As you can see, the spline screws in titanium continue through these columns outboard. Probably not necessary to advertise. That's clearly not rose gold, but now you know it is in fact titanium. We have polished spline screws in profile to retain the strap. You can see how the bezel itself is not perfectly flat. It actually dips a little bit at 6 o'clock and 12 o'clock, and you can see that there's a little bit of curvature or camber from center down to the edges. There are some polished highlights to set off against the satin finish. We have a sort of knurled pattern rubber shoulder about the crown, and then the crown has a mechanism internally. You can see there's this coaxial pusher that via a dial side column wheel and a lever release will activate the Dizzy Hands system. Now you can see right there it says Dizzy Hands. It will show you whether Dizzy Hands is active, and when this little hammer falls on the triangular index, Dizzy Hands is active. When it returns to the heart cam and recenters the sapphire disc that bears the numerals, then Dizzy Hands is inactive. And just like a fine chronograph, you have that column wheel, so the indexing action feels like a chronograph under the hand. When it's not in Dizzy Hands mode, it sets and reads time like a conventional watch. You can see that there is a sapphire that features the numerals. Now, what also happens, we'll go to the reverse side so you can see the watch. You can see it doesn't actually have hacking. It continues to run. Now, if I activate Dizzy Hands, what will happen is this sapphire disc will move counterclockwise very slowly as the hour hand advances, so they'll move in opposite directions. And it's a beguiling, if somewhat frivolous thing, but then luxury watches are frivolous by nature, so it kind of fits the spirit of the thing. And as soon as you press the trigger to drop the hammer on the heart cam, it recenters the disc with the numerals and resumes conventional timekeeping. Now you can see the hands have a combination of polish and satination. The elements of the movement, and the movement, by the way, bridges and plates in grade 5 titanium, They are skeletonized with beveling on their edges, which you can see fairly well from this angle, but then satination across their top. You can see screw heads have been black polished, springs have been satinated, and the crenellated towers, the column wheel, also polished. 30 meters water resistant, so it's a sporty watch, but not exactly an aquatic sports watch. On the reverse side, you can see the movement. This is a more manufacturer, or at least more proprietary or exclusive movement than your usual Vaucher-based Richard Mille. This has got more original RM watchmaking in it, or at the very least, exclusive watchmaking to RM. This is the CRMA3 automatic winding. It has a 50 to 55 hour power reserve. It's constructed entirely of grade 5 titanium, with the exception of the balance, the jewels, the hairspring, and the rotor. Beats away at 4 Hertz. You can see it has a full balance bridge and a free sprung balance for shock tolerance. And then it beats away at 4 Hertz. It pivots on 35 joules and it is adjusted in a chronometer style 5 positions. You can see it's been extensively skeletonized to give you visual access to the mechanism. And it has a highly stylized multi-part rotor that's quite handsome and easy to appreciate. It's a great looking movement. If you love this watch, reach out to me. I am Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details. And final real quick loom shot with the RM63.